What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be taking a look at the indie darling of the season. This is one of those games that I think has been making the rounds. However, there haven't been too many people rendering reviews or impressions of the game, so I figured I would give it a go. What you're taking a look at here today is a game called Thronefall. This is a game that exists somewhere in the zone between, let's call it Kingdom, Stronghold, and maybe They Are Billions. So effectively, this is a roguelike game where you are attempting to build up a fortress that will repel the forces of night for as long as possible. It gets rid of a little bit of the whimsy, I suppose, of something like Kingdom. Like, there's not a lot of exploration in this game. You're not finding, like, chests out in the woods. However, what it swaps there, it swaps out for a hardy tactical lair that makes the game actually quite contemplative. You never quite know what you want to build in this game, in my experience, when you're setting up to defend yourself. So for the next 25 minutes or so, we're going to play the game. I'm going to render my thoughts. I've played for about 2.5 hours, and it's not a super complicated game, so it was pretty easy to get my thoughts together about the title. If after watching this you wanted to get the game for yourself, it's in early access, so it is currently adding more content. There are things that the game is lacking, like an endless mode or whatever. However, it does have mutators for the standardized missions that will make things harder for you so that you can keep going once you feel like your progression is done. But if you wanted to get the game, I got a link for you down below in the description. On top of that, you can also take a look down there, and you will find a link to my Twitch stream, which you're definitely going to want to follow. Like, seriously, go follow my Twitch stream. I got to get everybody corralled on in over there. But let's get started. So, how have I been finding the game? It's pretty fun. I mean, if you've played Kingdom, you've definitely played this game, but it does have some little adaptations, I think, to the cause and to the execution that make it compelling. So first things first, in this game, you're playing as a king. At the beginning of the game, your king gets to pick a weapon. I like spears, so I almost always take the spear. Your king is capable of taking part in the combat that unfolds in this game. On top of that, based on how far you are into your progression, you will have perks unlocked that make different buildings do like extra functions, or they will make you generate more money or stimulate your economy in some way, or make your walls thicker, or make your turrets hit harder. You get to pick perks. These perks unlock with XP, and then the amount of perks that you get to bring along with you also unlock with XP. So this is definitely a game that has a progressive element to it. This is not meant to be one of those titles that I think you skate your way through on the first try with every single type of enemy and with every single map. In fact, I skated through until I hit the desert map. And then once I hit the desert map, it became pretty clear pretty quickly that I was supposed to have some upgrades here before I was supposed to be doing this map. You can control armies, so as you saw, I just commanded all these guys to come hang out with me. I am the king, and thus I can demand that they become my friends. I'm going to put them out in front of the wall over here because we have 15 of these little snake monsters coming, and the snake monsters are pretty tough. They don't go down easy, and they deal a lot of damage. And so I'd like to get on top of the snake monster situation, I think, as any good regent would. Honestly, I'd be a little bit suspicious of any king that didn't get on top of the snake monster problem. However, I assume that sentence is probably very offensive to the snake monsters, who are probably just like, I don't know, dude, a product of their foresty environment? I don't know, man. Or I don't know if I can make oh, they're not snake monsters. They're like weaponized pigeons. Okay, never mind. I always feel bad for pigeons. Did you know that prior to the telegraph, pigeons were like easily the number 2 most domesticated animal on the planet, and like everyone had access to pigeons, and that pigeons became attached to us the same way that dogs do? And I'm about to break your heart a little bit, but if you ever wonder why there's so many pigeons in cities, it's because when the telegraph became a thing, people just threw out their pigeons because they didn't need them anymore. Unfortunately, pigeons had served us for like 2,000, 3,000 years at that point as messengers. And so down to a DNA level, they are programmed to seek us out just like dogs are, and to like be our friends and to be like cooperative with us. And so the birds, when all that happened like 150 years ago or 130 years ago, they just kind of stayed in major city centers, and they don't really know why. But it's because we did that to them. It's like we all had dogs, and then one day we found something that made dogs no longer necessary. So we all just kind of like threw our dogs out into the street, and now we complain when the dogs take a dump on our car. It's one of those sad little things, dude. I feel bad for pigeons. I like pigeons, so I understand why those pigeons are weaponized. They're flying towards us just like, traitor! I was your friend! Like in like a Dragon Ball Z voice. I will put down another turret right here. I don't know if the turret's going to be inherently incredibly useful right there, but let me gather up these nerds right here and plop them down out in front of the gate. So at least they're in like a useful spot that's stopping me from getting annihilated. I don't know what any of these dudes are doing down here, but I'll tell you what they're doing now. They're defending the front gate. There we go. All of our money is actually not gone. I can buy a few more things. How much do I need to upgrade? I've got 4 coins. I think I've got a tier 1 house back here that I can upgrade. There we go. Houses generate money after every single night, in case you're wondering, what is the function of the house? How is this helpful to your overall playthrough? Please tell me in crippling detail about the basic gameplay mechanics. It's basically the exact same thing as Kingdom. You have economy generators, you have soldiers, you have walls, and the goal of the game is ultimately just to hold out for as long as possible. They went for the tower, which honestly kind of surprises me. Another thing that's interesting about this game is once we start getting these buildings up to tier 3, your buildings start to actually have perks as well that you can put on them. So that tower that just got took out right there, that level 2 tower, if it was a level 3 tower, I could pick a perk to make it stronger. I could make it do like rapid fire, so that it's like but it doesn't have very much HP. I could make it so that it basically has like infinite HP, but it hits very feathery, and it's just there to like annoy and distract the enemy. They do give you tactical options in here. The thing is, you've got to survive long enough to get to those tactical options. So I think when I first started playing this game, my initial impressions were like, so what? It's another tower defense game. And I'll admit at the forefront, I have a huge bias against tower defense games. I don't think tower defense games have really adapted or done that much like in the last 20 years. You will occasionally see something cool come through like Creeper World, but most of it's just like the same tower defense game you've been playing since the original iPhone. And that to me means that I don't tend to give them too heavy of a look, but in the case of this game, I'm glad that I did, because the tower defense trappings are actually quite secondary in this game to the economy management, the army management, and having the foresight to figure out what you want to build when, because picking the wrong building in this game in between waves will absolutely bankrupt and kill you. There definitely is like a build order on some of the maps that exists for like the first 4 or 5 turns, where if you don't look at the type of enemy they're sending at you and you don't figure out like, oh, I need to build a wall on this turn, otherwise I'm hosed. Oh, I need to build like double army stacks on this turn, otherwise I'm toast. Like, the first couple levels are usually kind of like formulaic in this game, but after that is where they start to add a little bit of the spice, and you can sort of accomplish the game at your own pace. But you've got to survive to like that 7th or 8th wave first. Let's go ahead. Healing aura, damage output for my character, units move faster. I'll probably just go more HP and more damage, in all honesty. I just want to hit things really, really, really hard. And I want to hit them so hard that the pain is emotional, not just physical. Like, I want it to last. I want them, like, 6 weeks from now to be laying in bed at 4 in the morning with a light sweat on their brow. Like, damn, I just got starched. How am I ever going to walk this off and feel better about myself as a person? And then I'll be there to whisper in their ear, you won't. I'm going to gather up all these coins and things that they got laying around right now. Help stab the big guy over here, too, and get some free mun-muns. All right, big attack right there. Every single weapon in this game has different special attacks that your king can do. So, for example, the spear, I stab them like a million, billion, trillion times, and it can kill most units. So it's good for focusing down like one siege engine or something like that. However, there are other weapons inside the game. There are bows and things of that nature. Now that we've upgraded to level 3, looks like they put some minarets or something on there. Interesting. We're definitely going to want to get some walls situated here. So whichever of these is walls is what we're going to pick. There we go. So we've got another set of walls down. What is that? It's a farm. That's another set of militia. That's a farm. Okay, I'm just trying to figure out what I have and what I don't have here. I do want my economy to get stronger, so I do feel pretty positively about dumping a couple of houses. I took a perk on my central capital that upgrades a house for free every single night, so it behooves me to always have an unupgraded house ready to go no matter what. We've got you almost fully upgraded. What does 16 coins get me? Just another set of knights? Okay, that's fine. I didn't know if maybe I've never upgraded one of the barracks to level 3. I beat this level without it last time, and so, like, I didn't know if there was going to be like a super unit or something that you got at level 3, because the towers and whatnot give you perks and things at level 3. We'll put those guys right there. We'll plop these guys down right here just to help out. It's a bummer that we don't have the money for a tower, so I think we're probably going to have to help out on this south end right here in order to make sure that this goes the way we want it to. They are spawning knights, though, and knights are resistant to arrows. You can see it's taking almost an entire volley just to kill one knight, which is going to end up being a problem. Actually, it looks like they're holding them back pretty good. All right, well, I'll get in here and I'll start with the stabbing. So anyways, I started stabbing. The controls in this game are fluid. They feel well thought out. The only control that I'm not a huge fan of is holding down, actually, ironically, I don't know if this is ironic or coincidental. I think it's coincidental. Anyways, holding down my pinky on control is like RSI inducing to move my units around. So I think that's the one keybind that I don't particularly like. The game also does not have re-keybindable keys. So even though the game has limited inputs, I would recommend that they add that at some point. The ability to swap out what control does and the ability to swap out what space does as well for people that may not want to play that way. It's never a bad idea to have a few more accessibility options. You never know, man. People got a lot of preferences about the way they like to game. The control thing, I don't know why anybody would swap out the space bar, but, you know, there's probably a reason. The control thing, I don't like having my pinky all crooked the entire time I'm playing the game while I'm moving units around and whatnot. So I'd like to be able to re-keybind it. But aside from that, the controls are fluid. They're responsive. Everything feels good here. I think the game has actually made a concerted effort to give you kind of tactile feedback whenever you build a building, whenever you pick up a coin, whenever a bad guy falls over dead. All of those things universally seem to reward the player both visually and on the audio layer, and just on like kind of like the hand feel of the game, in all honesty. It all just feels right. There's not a whole lot to complain about around here with this game. I'm sure this is going to develop into something beautiful, because it seems in its earliest forms to have its feet in the right place. Let's go ahead and put down a couple of towers right here, because we're getting like a full frontal assault on this turn. So I don't want to go too wild and crazy with my expenditures over here. But we'll go like un poco loco. You know, just like the smallest amount of loco in order to get this accomplished. And then obviously all of these knights are going to want to come with me. And they are going to be stationed down here for this massive wave. There we go. We can probably take the walls up to level 2 pretty soon. And I would more than likely recommend that we do that. I'm going to give us a second layer right here inside the curtain wall, just in case. We have enough for another barracks, too. I'll take swordsman, please. Sounds great. Hit me with that wave. Let's see what we got going. What you sending my way? I know what they're sending. I've already beaten this level, but I have to farm this level a little bit because I'm not good enough to beat the next level yet. It feels like I'm missing perks or something because the enemy compared to this level is bowling over me on the next level. Like, it's like I'm not even there, dude. I'm like that guy in Austin Powers that's like, no! And the game is just slowly rumbling towards me in like an asphalt leveler. Yeah, I don't know what that vehicle is called. I'm just going to call it an asphalt leveler. We'll go over here, although with the king, we want to be really careful about getting the aggro of these archers. Once these last knights go down, they're going to aggro us, and arrows like one-shot the king. Now, you don't lose the game if your king dies, but you do get a lengthy respawn period of about 20 seconds where you've just got to kind of sit there, and your troops have no direction, and they're just like fighting on their own. And I don't like that because I've been told that I'm a control freak, and so dying has its own emotional cost to me that I would prefer not to indulge in. Let's go ahead and let's get these walls all nice and upgraded. Oh, it's because it's a big wall. Okay, I thought the two different sections were charging me like 16 each, and I was going to be like, this seems like a very high charge. Like, I'm not trying to be negative here, but this seems very pricey, but apparently it did the entire wall. There we go. So now we have upgraded gates with portcullises. We're looking pretty good right now. There's no soundtrack right now. Did I turn it off? I did not turn it off. So I guess there's just no sound effects while you're building. There's no bards being like doo 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 doo. You know, like all medieval music has kind of like that minor key thing going on. It's got some guy dancing around with bells on his shoes. What am I going up against here? Because it looks like it's just 5 enemies. I think these are the snake guys that hit really hard. But one of them, or 5 of them, does not seem like a challenge. I don't know, maybe they're being nice and they're giving me a little bit of a breather, dude. They're worried about my cardiovascular health. They are. They were giving me a breather. A little bit of an underwhelming wave. Oh. Okay, I see what's happening here. I see what's taking place. It's about to get crazy. All right. This tower right here, I would like for this tower to have iron plates strapped to the front of it because it looks like it's going to be bearing the brunt of this assault. I don't know if I've made the right decisions here, but you boys are going to have to hold right here. I don't see any way around that. That left-hand side, there's not a lot of towers over here, so I think I leave the archers. But I think I grab the knights over here just to make like a stopgap. I don't know. We may not make it through this one. This may get a little bit crispy. I think the frontal assault will be okay just because of the sheer ridiculous amount of defense we've got on those front towers. Oh, what are you guys doing? You're just coming down here? I'm going to go snipe their siege engines. There we go. It's good to be king. That big guy right there is going to hurt like hell, though, when he hits me. Get these siege engines out of the way. Right about the time that my armies fail. Another one. Another one. All right, what else is happening here? Oh, they didn't all attack simultaneously. Oh, they just kind of trickled in from all the other angles. Well, that's not too bad then. I can live with... I mean, they kind of bowled over us over here. So let's go ahead and let's maybe help out on this side. Yeah, we'll just kind of sweep and clear a little bit. I think the tower is on that front wall right there. I don't even think they're firing arrows. I think they're firing like ICBMs at this point with the way that they're tracking the enemy, dude. We got those good arrows, man. We got that premium dwarfish crossbow bolt that's got like the heat-seeking tip on it that flies around and it can, like, you know, bullseye a fly from 2,000 meters. The scary medieval war industrial complex place thing. I don't know, I couldn't get the words out. I think they're making it through that front gate over there, by the way. I don't think there's a whole lot of ways they aren't making it through this front gate. So we're going to get a little subtraction from our score right there. Whenever you use a building, or whenever you lose a building, the game gets a little tiny bit cranky with you. These guys over here, I'm going to do my best to hold them off solo. There we go. Held them off solo, kinda. Wow, what a big wave, man. They were not playing. These catapults are eating us alive over here, too. 1 down. 2 down. I need these catapults to go. They gots to go. There we go. All right, catapults are down. They're still streaming in through the front, though. You guys rally with me. You are now positioned here, and you will fight to your last breath. Die for your king! Oh, dude. It's getting kind of wild and crazy down here. I think we're okay. I mean, they just keep filing in. So I don't honestly know if we're okay. All your buildings get rebuilt automatically. I'm actually kind of glad that this happened because that allows me to explain that your buildings get rebuilt automatically when you win and survive. Was that the last wave? Oh, it was. I was going to say, dude, that kind of felt like a final wave. So here's where you're going to see the game's meta progression take place. We got 6,700 XP. So we'll unlock a couple of perks, like 2 or 3 things. So far, the unlock rate feels reasonably fair. A win unlocks like 3 to 4 things. And so that feels good to me. That's in a solid spot. We've got burning oil for our defense tower. What else did we get? Looks like we got pumpkins. Your fields give you more income and have more health points, but are also more expensive. We unlocked Assassin's Training. And so it looks like our level 2 castle will make us hit really, really, really hard if we take a certain upgrade. Let's go ahead and continue. We'll take you on into the next level so that you can see how wild and crazy it gets. The game does track your score versus all of your friends, so whatever the XP amount was that you got, it does keep track of that. It does compare it to all of your friends on your friends list. In case you were wondering, this is the perks list right here if you're wondering how much content there is. That took us roughly 20 minutes right there, and we unlocked 3 things. So there's quite a few things to unlock here. That leads me to believe you probably got a good 6 or 7 hours of gameplay in this thing if it bites you. There are also mutators, so these are gods that you can spurn. You can basically be like, "A pox upon the turtle god!" And then the turtle god rains down his wrath on you and makes the level harder, but you get rewarded with like even better stuff. You've also got quests that you can play around with over here. So like win a victory without the spear. So we can probably do that pretty easily right here by just taking the bow. I've got an upgrade for my tower, and I've got an upgrade for my castle so that it fights a little bit harder and so that it throws down a little bit nastier. Let's try this desert level out. This desert level has been the bane of me, though. I feel like you need to know that. This desert level has been the worst. This desert level has embarrassed me over and over and over again. I don't really know where to go from there. I'll get some spearmans over here. We do need to begin the trappings of an economy. I think an early gold mine will probably help with that. The gold mine is not amazing because it runs out of money, but it gives you a lot of money in the early game, and so it can be a worthwhile investment. We just got to hold this off right here, but we should have like 8 or 9 coins coming, I guess, for next round. Let's go ahead, and we will summon the knight. The game does use low poly graphics. You will know that I'm not a big fan of low poly, never have been a big fan of low poly, but honestly, it's kind of low impact, dude. Like, I don't actually mind it too much with this game. You're in such a high up bird's eye view that it's kind of like, eh. And honestly, everything else about the game feels so good that it's easy for me to like not pay attention to the graphics. In addition, as you note from like the games I've been featuring over the course of the last week or so, I play a lot of roguelikes and stuff in my free time, and roguelikes are not a genre that are known for being pretty. Never have been, never will be, I don't think. And so what do we have going on here? They're attacking from the southwest. Gross. Probably gonna need some walls. Probably not an awful idea to maybe get some towers. What is this right here? It's a farm? Oof, that thing's never going to make it. Ooh, do I want another tower? Do I want more soldiers over here? Let's get soldiers. We'll get longbowmen. And then we'll drag these guys down here, I guess. I don't know. I didn't build my economy up at all, so I'm not, like, happy with where we're at right now. Like, I really would prefer to be putting some kind of economy down every single round, even if it means I only get, like, 1 more coin, you know? Just, like, even if it's not, like, a big infusion, just small coin, make big coin later. I think we should be fine with this wave. I forget what the special... I just did the special ability, but I can't tell what it does. You guys come over here. Fight them right here. Keep them off the walls, please. Walls appear to be holding. We'll grab this guy, drag them down to here to help out. And I think we hold. These little snake roller guys right here are actually kind of a headache. They can be a problem. They hit really hard on fleshy units. So we got 4 coins from that wave. Not very much. Not very many of the enemies drop coins. Okay, what do we have coming now? So we've got horsemen coming from the south. It looks like there's a build spot right here. Is there a build spot right there? There is. You can put a tower right there. Money. I'm gonna do it. It looks like we can also, like, tower this area, maybe? That feels okay-ish to me. I'm gonna make the odd decision this time around to hold on to my money. No, I'm not. Never mind. We're going to build another house. Money's money, and I need it coming in. And just, I feel like every time I lose this map, it's because, like, I make one decision that offsets my economy ever so slightly, and I'm just like, I shouldn't have built that thing on turn 4. I should have built the other thing. The other thing would have been such a better investment, bro. Yeah, it looks like they're taking down the 10 archers over there, no problem. So we should be okay. And then spearmen naturally slow down the horse guys. Their damage scales with how fast an enemy's maximum movement is. So they should slow them down so that the archers can pick them apart over here. And that's actually exactly what happened. Your horse is off-road. You can just jump off cliffs with your horse. There's no consequences. Your horse doesn't even care. He's like fine with it. He's cool with it. Did these guys up here drop any coin? They did not drop any coin. Am disappointed, little heartbroken, wish that coin had been dropped. I think a tower right here is not a bad call. I've got the spearmen over there. That'll hold perfectly fine, I think. Level 2 castle, 7 coins. I'm going to do it now. I'm going to take Builder's Guild because I need the money too. I'm broke as a joke, and not even a good one. And I think over here, we just got to pray for, like, a trickle. Oh, there's a wall node right there, dude. Oh, man. I think the wall node wasn't there till I upgraded this guy. Bummer. It would have been nice to... Okay. It would have been nice to maybe... But I needed to upgrade that to see the wall, so maybe I didn't make a mistake here. Maybe it's just me processing the shock of new information. But this is Thronefall. I think it's pretty good, man. I would keep an eye on this one. I think this one's going to move digits, and I think it's going to move numbers. It's fairly satisfying to play, and I tend to be very polarized about minimalism and about low poly, so the fact that, like, I'm playing it and, like, showing it off, and I don't seem to mind low poly, which is usually, like, a hard no from me, is a sign of how well this game is made and also how well put together it is. Keep an eye on this early access. I think it's going to make progress. Like, I think it's going to end up being something special. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we were messing around with Thronefall. Tomorrow it'll be something else. Another reminder to make sure you follow my Discord and my Twitch stream. Definitely sometime in the near future. I will catch you all later. Goodbye, folks, and that's all that I've got.